A quick one. So, are men truly polygamous in nature or by culture? Let's listen to this video and come back.
Why shouldn't I expect fidelity from a man who stood and took a vow with me? Why shouldn't a man expect that if a woman took a vow with him, she has eyes for him alone? Who trained you to have eyes for 20 women at the same time? Where did the training come from? It's not from the word of God. Romans chapter 12 verse 2. Listen to what Romans says in Message translation. Don't become so well adjusted to your culture that you fit into it without even thinking. That's why a man will say, men are polygamous by nature. I say, which nature? I asked the man, whose nature?
So when you are dealing with this kind of topic, it's not by shouting actually, because you're talking to a nature and a culture. So the book that the madam just read was a letter written to the Romans, not to the people in Nigeria. So there's a difference between the culture in Romans and the culture in Nigeria, even though nature is the same. Let me explain this. When you're talking to the nature of a human being, you're talking to the biology of that human being, you're talking to the genealogy of that human being. But when you're talking to the culture, you're talking to the societal principle that guides the human being. That is established here. Naturally, it is possible for a man to impregnate as many wives, as many women as possible, because he has billions of sperm cells in him. But it is not possible for a woman to have as many children as she wants. Why? Because nature has not bestowed that upon her. She just have one womb. So it's going to get to a point where she gets weak. That's, by the way, one man can actually impregnate the whole women in the world because he has billions of cells in him. That's natural thing. Then come to culture. It is culturally possible, or it has been culturally approved that a man can marry as many wives as possible. But it's not culturally approved for a woman to have as many wives as possible, many husbands as possible. What I'm saying now is not a way to, bestow upon you the virtue to cheat. No, that's even a personal thing. Okay, so I'm just trying to establish between culture and nature. In Nigeria, a man can marry as many wives as possible. A woman cannot do that. If a woman tries to marry more than a husband, she will be damned for it. So you see the difference now. So now cheating becomes a choice. Faithfulness becomes a choice, not nature. So you can't blame it on being natural to be polygamous. Nope. It's a cultural thing. Even men that are in Nigeria that are approved to have as many wives as possible, there are still men that are faithful to their women. There are still men that are married to just a wife. Yes. Okay, so that's why I always advise women that a man is cheating on you does not mean you should go and cheat, because that's you damning who you are. So being faithful is not by force, it's by choice, and cheating is by choice, not by being natural. I hope that makes sense. Of course, I'm sure it did. So if it does, please share, like, and send to who needs to hear. And don't forget, you can't listen to me and go wrong.